we're out here with everybody's favorite ski patroller, but also does a lot of in the summertime. He's one of our favorite woodcutters and one of the newest fathers around. Congratulations, Roddy.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Little baby girl?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago today.
Congratulations. And he says sleep deprivation isn't what it's cut out to be. But busy summer.
Yeah.
You're did a lot of cutting?
Yeah, the hand crew cut about 28 acres. We pretty much went up to the top of where the commercial harvest left off, right, which is about 2,600 feet. And we're 500 feet short of the summit of Burnt Mountain right now. So hopefully within the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll wrap it up and we'll be finished.
Wow, and there's some steep territory over there, isn't there?
Yeah, it's if my math is right, which you know how that goes.
Sleep deprivation.
Yeah, it's 1,100 vertical feet over 0.6 miles. So if you do the math, it's somewhere in the area 25% slope, which would break down to an average 18-degree pitch, which doesn't sound all that exciting, but that's the average. Right. So definitely where it's less than that, it makes it up at the top where it's way more steep. And
this is quite a ways north and east. I mean, it's quite a ways out there now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. Throughout the summer, I've been kind of looking up at Burnt Mountain, which we can't see right now, but we will be able to see later. And you can't see where we're cutting from anywhere on the resort. I've been able to see the area where we cut from like Oh My Gosh Corner, and I got a peek at it from Bigelow Hill. But standing on the trail network, you can't see where we're cutting because it has the same aspect. So where Sugarloaf faces kind of northeast, where we're cutting also faces northeast. But I could be wrong. We'll wait to see the snow fly, and then it'll really, point out where we're at.
Right. Oh, it's really exciting. So, how many more acres do you think this opens up?
We're cutting 28 or 30 acres, somewhere in there, depending on how wide we keep it. And that'll access about 40 acres of the commercially harvested area that you weren't able to get to before, without hiking uphill, obviously. But this will feed downhill right into an additional 40 acres that we haven't been able to ski before.
And my understanding too is you told me you cut by Gondy line and bubble cover in there.
Yeah, with the new tower guns, I think there were 20 footers we put on Gondy line. But if anybody remembers last fall, I mean, those things throw the snow. And the average width of the Gondy line is only 125, 150 feet wide. So we were worried that we were going to lose a lot of the product into the woods. So basically, to make it up, we just said, well, let's just glade it. So now it is gladed on the east side of Gondy line, and hopefully that'll fill right in when they make snow.
Oh, that's really exciting. That's really exciting. And they did some stuff with Moose Alley too. Is that true?
Yeah. There was a lot of discussion last year about with the extension of the Skybound Park up to the top of Cruiser. There was a lot of mingling between the wee ones in Perfect Turn and then the people actually there to use the park. So to address that, we moved the entrance of Moose Alley uphill. So you don't have to enter the terrain park section of Cruiser to get in there. And it now exits onto Condo Crosscut, headed out towards Buckboard. So the project actually, it pretty much doubles the length of the old Moose Alley. And we also, Tom Butler, who was just on a few minutes ago, he did a trip, I think it was to Wildcat, and took a look at some of the kids' features they have there. So we tried to, take their lead and just kind of add some fun stuff for kids, little, places to pull off to the side. We built a little bear cave out of rocks, and there's a ski-through building, and we gladed a portion of it over between Buckboard and Moose Alley. So there's a whole lot more stuff going on in there for the little kids now.
Wow, that's exciting for the little kids. And there's snowfields now. There's 4 more acres up?
It was a deal with Plum Creek that we've actually been working on for a little while. We tried to keep it on the down low because, we didn't want to count our chickens before they hatch, or however that saying goes. But there was a lot of we picked up the land that is in that area that we always used to ski back in the day, and mountain management just kind of turned a blind eye to it. And then with all the search and rescues that we had over the years, once the Bracket Basin opened up, the owners of the land kind of said, well, we don't want to be responsible for it, so don't let it happen. So we were pretty much forced to manage it differently than we had in the past, which meant closing it. And if it's not our land, we can't say go ski there. So fortunately, everything worked out in our favor. We acquired, in total, it's about 14 acres that goes down the ridge that allowed us to move our traverse for the Golden Road up to the high point in order to save your elevation to make a more efficient trek across to Burnt Mountain. And that is, as far as the skiing area that everybody's excited about, it's an aerial photo, so it doesn't really tell you what the acreage is, but my estimation is somewhere between 5 and 7 acres of new terrain downhill of the old backside boundary.
So how, as a ski patrol now, backing up, put the other hat on, how do you patrol that back out there?
We're going to find out because no one's ever done it before. So a lot of things come to mind as far as from a rescue standpoint. With the new cliff area below the backside, you'll probably look to see. We'll keep the old boundary rope that we always had, but instead of being a boundary rope, it'll be an intermediary. Well, there'll be gated entrances to where you can enter that area. There's 3 or 4 different chutes that give you access to that point. So the rope will always be there, and it'll be gated to let people know, hey, you're about to get to some place that isn't like anything you've skied even at Sugarloaf. So we want to give people the opportunity to make that decision for themselves before they're forced into it. And then once you get down to the new boundary or the point of no return, where it's like King Pine's this way, King Field's that way, look for a rope there. That's definitely one you don't want to go past.
Well, I know we'll talk a lot more about that as the snow starts to fly. Thanks so much for coming in, Roddy.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, congratulations.
Thanks again.
All right, Greg, that's it from outside.